As always, let's just do a quick check to make sure we're good here. We're coming through. Perfect. Alright guys, hi, welcome to PGR League Racing. I am your host, Sidonian Muse. Here tonight we are going to be racing in Great Britain at the legendary track Silverstone, one of the core Formula One racing tracks, in my personal opinion. Tonight, we're only going to usually we have two pre-race interviews to kick things off, but tonight we're only going to have one. We're going to have Slim, who is the admin of our league, racing for Ferrari. He's going to hop in here now and have a quick interview to talk about some things. Let's get Slim in here. Currently, Slim is leading the constructors with Gator. Gator has taken over Pete the Newfie's seat now that Pete has gone on hiatus, who, just to quickly mention, today, Pete actually just had his new young baby girl this afternoon, so everyone chat, put up some hearts and some congrats and cheer emojis for Pete the Newfie for having his first child today. Congrats to him. And we're going to dedicate this race tonight to the birth of his daughter. But yes, Gator has taken over Pete's seat, and him and Slim are still leading the constructors. However, the AlphaTauris of Smoke and Larry Turd are hot on their heels. We're still waiting for Larry to join the lobby, and a couple other people. Now, a couple of guys aren't going to be able to race tonight. There's been some weird glitches going on with Game and Xbox with their wheels not working, so that's quite unfortunate, but let's get Slim in here and we'll talk about it.
Yes, sir. You got me there, Muse.
Hello. I want to make sure I got
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me just check there.
I got
Sure,
my audio
here,
checked off, and welcome to all the viewers.
Yeah, got ya. Hi, how are you tonight, man? I know that this track tonight, Silverstone, is a classic Formula One track. How confident are you here in your ability? Because you've had a couple rough races.
Huh.
Do you think tonight this might be your turnaround race?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had a bad stretch of races. It seems like the last over a month and a half, I haven't been able to put a result in pretty much any of my leagues that I'm in. But I'm not trying to let that deter me, and just gotta go 1 week at a time. And you're right, this is a great track. I love this layout. Love Great Britain. It's a track that I kind of know from the back of my hand. And it's one of the best racetracks in the world. So I think you've either raced this in Formula One or in Assetto Corsa or other games. Basically, this track Silverstone is all over the place. So I'm pretty confident here that I'll at least be able to have some race pace. As far as getting the result I want, I don't know. We'll see, because I thought I was going to get the result I wanted last week, and then the last lap it all collapsed. So I'm trying to just plow forward and see what we can do tonight.
Yeah, that's great to hear, man. So speaking of which, like your performance and everything. So what have your thoughts been on the first half of the season as a racer, as you were just mentioning, and as a league admin? What have your thoughts been on the first half of the season so far?
I personally love these new cars, to be honest. I think they're really fun to drive and really enjoyable as a driver. So I think, based off the drivability of the cars, it's been a really fun season. I think, it's been an exciting season, especially the first 6 races. We had 5 different winners. So it's been pretty exciting down the stretch here. We've had, a couple of people that have put together some back-to-back wins. But I think it's been exciting overall. I think it's still any man's game here, but still half the season left. And then in the constructors, I think it's still all up for grabs as well. And there's about 5 teams that are pretty much fighting it out for constructors right now. So, half of the teams are still pretty much in it. So I think it's been a pretty exciting season so far. I don't think anybody can really complain.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I was just talking before you joined the stream. I was just talking about you and your new teammate Gator, who's taking over for Pete now for the second half of the season.
Yep.
How obviously, tell me a little bit about that, because you said you've worked with, for anyone who doesn't know watching the stream, so years ago, like, you've raced with Gator before and won seasons back. I heard.
Yeah, no, for multiple seasons. So this is kind of like a throwback. He was my teammate from season 2 through 4. And we won a couple of constructors titles together. So once that he was available as a reserve driver, it was an easy call up to bring him into Ferrari to finish out the season. Not to mention it's one of his favorite teams. So the man loves Ferrari to death. So he actually works at a Ferrari dealership too. So it's just perfect that he's now actually racing for Ferrari as well. So yeah, it's kind of an easy thing. We have some great teamwork, and I think that's been proven from the past. And we're just trying to, get it going here the last half of the season and see what we can do.
Yeah, you're right, and it's awesome that you're able to come together once again, and that he moved up from the Alfa Romeo to the Ferrari is kind of.
That's
funny.
Correct. Yeah, so he was a full-time Alfa Romeo driver, and then reserve driver, kind of like an Antonio Giovinazzi. And then once that position opened up, it was just, like I said, an easy call up for him to basically get called up to the big team.
Yeah, exactly, man. Now, how, or I should say, who are you excited to be scrapping with here tonight? Because obviously, some guys are going to be flying at the front, I imagine. But there's going to be, I feel like the middle might be a little bit of a toss-up here tonight. Like you said, depending a lot on consistency and such. Who do you feel you can have some good scraps with? I know Slingshot the other week. Slingshot mentioned you. Oh yeah. In his interview.
Oh yeah, Slingshot is the #1 target tonight. I've been trying to get Slingshot for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and he's just either edged me out and out survived me, or put in some mean laps to kind of just outpace me. So, I got to give all credit to Slingshot, but I do love racing against him, and I think that's the best part of the league is when you can get somebody that you turn a lot of laps against, and it's so competitive. And Tats is another one. I do tattoos. I love turning laps against him. Another super competitive driver where it seems like we're always pretty much racing each other in the race. So I'd say those 2 are probably the 2 that I enjoy competing against the most in the league. But I love anytime I can go wheel to wheel with pretty much anybody in this league, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, I think Tats has been having some wheel troubles tonight. Do you want to talk about that for a little bit? That apparently, there's been some issues going on.
No, unfortunately, tonight we are going to have, it looks like 2 of our drivers are going to be out, unfortunately, with it looks like server issues between the game, Xbox, and just their wheelbases that they're, having some technical difficulties with equipment. So it looks like we're not going to have Abrupt Pew Pew in the race tonight, and it doesn't look like we're going to have I Do Tattoos in the race tonight. But it looks like we're also missing Larry, who's not going to be here.
Okay. And Leon.
And Leon's having, I know Leon, it sounds like his base is basically corrupted itself and is not going to work at all, so he might need a new base. So we do have a smaller field here tonight, so there will be points up for grabs, but we'll basically see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see what we can. Yeah, well said, man. And so before I let you go, one last question. Who do you think is going to be? Obviously, you said smaller grid tonight, so it's might be a lot more of a toss-up.
Well, I'll tell you what. I
Who
mean,
do you
obviously,
think's
I
gonna
think
be on the
Vodka
podium?
Victory is going to be up there fighting for the win. I think Benzo has switched over to the PC tonight just to get the race in. So I think that he is still going to be up there, especially if he can settle down and start turning some laps early. And then, watch out for Stoney Stewart. I think he's had amazing pace here recently. I think he just needs to put together a full race, and I think tonight might be it, honestly. And then watch out for, some of the fan favorites. My personal fan favorite, Firewater, or even my teammate, Gator. I think you can watch out for both of those two.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for joining me, man, for another interview, filling in after stuff didn't go as planned. But
I appreciate that. I appreciate all you do, and all the spectators and people that watch these races. You got to realize how much Muse does for the league. Is a great broadcaster, great editor, and we really appreciate all the work you do. And we appreciate our sponsors too. So we got 2 new sponsors, especially on the iRacing side that I'd like to mention, which is Admin Box. If you're looking for some equipment for iRacing, go to adminbox.com. And then if you're on iRacing looking for a paint scheme, go to Black Magic Designs. Check out Black Magic Designs and Studios on Facebook as well. So real big shout out to our sponsors as well.
Yeah, shout out to them as well, man. But anyways, we got a show to get on the road. Just lastly, before you leave, to explain to people tonight is also our second sprint race of the season. First one was Austria, correct. Second one is tonight. So how is that going to work out?
So because Stoney has to serve a grid penalty for the main race, we have to do a old school lobby. So right now we're doing an old school lobby at 25%, which will be a one-shot qualify. Then it'll be 13-lap sprint race where I will be, collecting the final standings there and awarding sprint race points. Then we will reset quickly and reset the grid old school style, move Stoney to the back because he's got a grid penalty for an incident at Jeddah last week, and then we'll run out the normal main race, which should be 26 laps.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So, basically what you're saying is, I'll get caught up with the highlight reels. I'll get to this one. They'll be like, I'm gonna leave that for a bit.
Possibly,
a bit of a tangle to edit, but we'll get to that when the time comes. So anyway, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me.
The main race is that all that matters, realistically, to be honest.
Realistically, yeah. So good luck in the main. Good luck. But hey, still points. I mean, last sprint race. Still points you got points in the last sprint race. So.
Yep. Points available. So we'll see what we can do. I'll head back over. I'll try to collect the rest of these drivers so we can get started. And if you could just fill some airtime while I'm doing that, appreciate you.
Sure thing. Yep. Thanks for joining me, man.
All right, you guys have a good night. Thank you.
And that was our league admin, Slim Fug. Joined us for a quick pre-race interview. Racing for Ferrari. Trying to get some points here tonight. Like you said, there's going to be a sprint race for the main race. And then we're going to have our 26 lap race like we normally would here at Silverstone. I think we've collected everyone. As he mentioned, Leon's not with us tonight because his base is all messed up. So Slingshot's the only Alpine driver here tonight. Gator and Slim on Ferrari. Vodka's the only Red Bull because teammate Greybush is having issues with his wheel and with the game. Same thing with Abrupt. Bad Madu's Williams' teammate. Bad Madu's the only Williams here tonight. So it's all on his shoulders as well. Smoke, the Alpha Tauri driver here. Looks like Larry's not going to be here tonight either. And both McLaren drivers are here. Benzo and Great Ace. Benzo was having issues as well, but he is playing in the PC for tonight. First time for him. And then also playing on the PC, we have Stoney in the Mercedes and Firewater in the Haas. So as of right now, unless someone else joins, there's only going to be 10 drivers on the grid tonight. So this is a great chance for some of these guys who have fallen behind a little bit this season, this is a great opportunity for them to score some points and maybe give themselves some more confidence and momentum going into the second half of the season, to put some of the bad races they've had behind them, such as, last week Ferrari, Gator and Slim kind of had a rough race. Same thing with recently with like Bad Madu and the Williams and Stoney and the Mercedes. They've been having a rough time. So this could be their chance to turn things around. So we'll be eagerly watching them tonight. And as Slim said, it's looking like Vodka is definitely going to be up there tonight. I'd be very surprised if Vodka Victory did not at least finish on the podium tonight, if not win the race. Last season, it was pretty much just him and Pete fighting at the front. In fact, Vodka led most of the race here last season, only losing to Pete near the end due to tire management and strategy calls. So, Pete's not even here for the rest of the season, so it's pretty much opened up the floodgates for Vodka to go ham here tonight. So I would not be surprised to see Vodka win here at Silverstone. Definitely one of his best tracks. Just like Jeddah last week, though Benzo did win last week. Benzo does have the momentum coming off of that win, that pole position and the win at Jeddah. Two-time winner at Jeddah. Now coming into Silverstone, he's fighting neck and neck with Vodka in the Drivers' Championship currently. No one with a huge lead over the other. Both pretty even right now. So Benzo won last week, so if Vodka wants to keep it in his favor, Vodka needs to try to win here tonight. So we'll eagerly be waiting to see if Benzo or Vodka won't win tonight. Maybe something will happen with the two of them. And then we might have, someone else who hasn't won we might have a new race winner tonight. You never know. We've had several race winners this season. We've had Pete, Larry, Benzo, Vodka, and Leon, I believe. I believe we've had 5 different race winners so far this season, which is great to see, but we could always have more. There's always the potential, we still have Firewater here, man who's been around the block, won races last season. Would not be surprised if Firewater pulled a win, or Stoney. Stoney also won a race this season, or it could be Smokes. Last week was at Jeddah was Smoke's first podium in a long time in PGR. So Smoke's been on a bit of a winning streak lately, so I would not be surprised if Smoke out of nowhere also pulled a win. But we'll have to see. This is Silverstone. There are some unforgiving sections on this track, such as the second sector. Everything can just go wrong. So we'll have to wait and see. Been a bit of a delay here. Apologies to anyone watching right now. But we're finally getting things underway. Looks like we're finally all good to go here. That's everyone who's coming. We only got 10 people. Obviously, like I said, if the game wasn't being stupid, we'd have 12 people here tonight, which would be more normal amount. 12, 13 is usually more of our normal amount, but so 10 is pretty low, So basically everyone's guaranteed points here tonight in the full race. But yeah, as Slim said, we're doing the sprint race, and then after a sprint race, we have to do it like this because Stoney does have a grid penalty to serve from last week at Jeddah, where he received a penalty for a bad incident with Greybush. Who was watching the race tonight, if you're out there, Greybush. Man's got robbed of, could have had like a 5th, 6th placed finish last week and was robbed, so because of that, Stoney will be serving a grid penalty after the sprint race. So I have to wait and see. But before all that, as Slim said, we're going to have a quick one-shot quali to set the grid for the sprint race. So it's going to be fast and furious, only going to be like a minute or two long. So we're going to try to keep up and see who has the fastest pace going into all these sectors once we get going here. Alright, and we're on board with Firewater here. He's currently falling behind in terms of pace off that first turn. We're gonna hop up to the front where there's some exchanging. Slim currently at second fastest pace right now. Coming around after those first couple turns. Vodka been sitting pretty there at the front though. But Bad Madu just behind him actually. Benzo actually currently at the ninth right now in terms of pace. About to be going into the second sector, though. This is where it all matters. You can have a great lap, and it could all be for nothing here. As Vodka's pace completely... Let's hop back to Vodka. It's so hard. I hate jumping. It's so hard to jump back and forth during these one-shots. But yeah, Vodka lost control there. So that's his lap is ruined. So Vodka's going to be starting pretty far back at the start of the sprint race. He's going to have to claw his way back up to the front. Stoney now goes off. That's going to screw Stoney over, I imagine. That sets Smoke in a good position to be leading, to have pole at the front of the sprint race. We'll have to wait and see. Stoney's still holding on, though. Completely off. We'll see. Let's see what the game decides. Oh, and it's so close, but yeah, Stoney gets pole. Stoney gets pole going into the sprint race with that 129.9. That's great for him. He's definitely going to need it. Since he'll be starting from the back for the full race. So this gives Stoney a great chance to get some points during the sprint. So Stoney looking really promising tonight. Could this be... Now it's only one lap, but could Stoney get his first win of the season? His only win last season was in Bahrain. And it's been a bit of a bad streak, but this could be the turnaround for Stoney. But besides that, obviously the spin from Vodka completely out of nowhere. So Vodka, Bad, and Gator not even posting the lap time. Benzo starting all the way from 7th. Same thing with Firewater 6th. Slim starting 5th and Slingshot 4th. Then we have Smoke starting in 2nd. He was only a couple tenths lower than Stoney. So he's showing some good pace here tonight as well. And then we have Great Ace starting from 3rd for the sprint race. This is also a great opportunity. Since his teammate Benzo didn't have a great lap, this is a great opportunity for Great Ace, no pun intended, to also get some good points for his team to keep them competitive. As right now, McLaren are currently working their way back up in the constructors' standings, especially after Benzo's win last week. But yeah, so that was actually a pretty exciting one-shot. Did not expect to see that from Vodka. A really uncharacteristic mistake there. But that is the nature of one-shot qualities. You only get one shot. Do not miss a chance. You know? This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. So that will be the grid going into this sprint race. And as we saw, it will be a 13-lap sprint race. 25%. And like I said, normally it wouldn't be like this, but the reason we have to do that is because it's a bit of a longer sprint race, and that's because of the fact that we need to set Stoney in the proper positions for the full race because of the grid penalty. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna be taking... There will be an intermission. Usually there's an intermission after qualifying. Usually there's an intermission before the full race. However, I'm not certain if they're going to be doing the intermission before the sprint race or before the full race. I'm not sure. I thought it would be before the full race. But maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe they're doing the intermission right now. If someone could clarify for me in chat or in Discord, that would be much appreciated. But it looks like, okay, so I guess that answers itself. They are going to be doing the intermission after the sprint race. Okay, so that is what I figured. So like I said, we're going to get in here and take another look at the grid here now. Like I said, Badmadou was looking quick in that first sector, but then he lost it all going into that second one. And that can, like I said, that second sector can make or break it here. Let me do a quick formation laps. While they're doing that, let's get our, let's check out what people are running here in the sprint race. You see, Stoney starting from the front, running the soft, same thing with Great Ace and Slingshot, but everyone else is actually going to be, running the mediums for the sprint race. Funny enough. Because that's the thing, these softs might, like, these guys like Stoney might have a great launch off the start, but I can see why most people chose mediums, because that's the thing, the softs are the softs really gonna last for this entire sprint race? Now, yes, obviously if it was a normal sprint race, they would, but it's a slightly longer sprint race, so who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Well, as I said, there will be points awarded for the sprint race and the actual race, so even if guys don't do good in the actual race, this is a great opportunity for them to still score some points for their team and for themselves if they're fighting for those positions, because this season in PGR we are awarding cash prizes to the top 10 in the drivers by the end of the season. So there is cash money on the line as well for other side prizes. It's not just for the drivers. You know, there's also side prizes for various different categories. Such as a couple that I have myself going for most driver of the days, most play the games, if you're keeping up on YouTube with our highlight reels. But regardless, here we go. We're about to get into the sprint race here. And it's lights out and away we go here, the sprint race in Silverstone. We're going to see Stoney looking a little shaky there. He has the faster tires though, so it looks like he's still going to pull ahead. Same thing with Great Ace on the softs. Obviously, those softs are going to have the better launch there, as we can see. But Smoke going side by side with Great Ace there. Smoke still trying to pull ahead of him. Regardless of the tire, Smoke still has more pace here. Both of them going side by side again. As Benzo drops down to all the way to the back there, he must have made a bit of an error. Stoney's kind of pulled ahead for a bit here. Now he's almost 2 seconds ahead of Smoke. He was actually still ahead of Great Ace and Slingshot, even though he's on this lower tire. Which is crazy to see. Gator is just behind Firewater, looking to pull ahead of him. Yeah, most of the guys are waiting here. Oh, Firewater going side by side there. Ooh, and Firewater does it. He pulls ahead of the other Ferrari there. So now he's both Ferraris as back. The Red Bull Vodka victory, though. There's a huge fight at the back right now. Slim is still trying to put some pressure on Fire. As Slim's teammate Gator already spins on the first lap of the sprint race. Not a great start for Gator with that. Slim actually looking more aggressive than his teammate here tonight. Oh! But Vodka nudges right into the back of Slim! Oh, Slim's gonna have some words about that. Vodka nudges right into the back of the... That's what we call some... Stoney has been guilty of this a couple times too. We like to call it the I'm mad because I'm at the back and I shouldn't be at the back, so get out of my way syndrome. That's what we like to call that. Yeah, so now Slim's all the way at the back with his teammate Gator. Difference, Gator actually made a mistake of his own volition. Slim, oh! And we just catch it there. Badmadoo spins on that straight there. It's Badmadoo having a rough this race now. He's gonna have to drop back and let the others by. Everyone getting a little spaced out here now. Everyone's sort of settling in a bit though. Firewater still trying to move up though. Still trying to gain time on Slingshot. Stoney posted another fastest lap. But yeah, it's really unfortunate for Slim there. As, ooh. Looks like Badmadoo has gone slow there again. I'm not sure what's going on with him there. But yeah, that was pretty rough for Slim there. Everything was fine. And then Vodka hit right into the back of him. Like you really hate to see it as Benzo goes off track there for a little bit. Now he's going to lose positions to the Ferrari as well. So they're slowly making it back up. As we hear at Vodka victory now. After that incident with Slim, he's in 6th. He's currently right behind Firewater, who's chasing Slingshot. Well, as you can see, Stoney with nearly a 3-second gap on Smoke in 2nd. So it's all going to come down to how those softs wear out later on, as Firewater is now really close to overtaking Slingshot. We're going to hop on with him here. Oh, he was close to Slingshot. Oh, and he goes a little wide there too. Now Vodka is getting close to Fire. I'll free these guys. Fire locking up a little bit. All these 3 guys are all fairly close. There's a big gap between them and the guys behind them. Just keep in mind, like, Benzo is also behind both Ferraris right now. So this is still not bad for Slim and Gator, but Slim definitely could have had more, you know. It's a bit of a shame, really, when you think about it. Like I said, Fire getting close to Sling again. Still waiting for his chance going through this high-speed second sector. Going into this DRS zone. Looks like he's good. Oh, he plays the wicked mind games on Slingshot there. Gets a little jiggy with it. Fire gets a little jiggy with it, you know? He does that as... Woo! Contact between Vodka and Slingshot. Vodka goes off after that. Reasonable. Kind of had to let, he himself must have known, but he kind of had to let Slingshot go there regardless, I think. So now Vodka's going to have to recover from that a bit more, so he's kind of stuck in 6th here now for the time being. As Benzo is now looking to pull ahead of Slim and get a position here in the sprint race. Cuts a bit of a corner though. Oh, as Great Ace has gone off track. Benzo picks up a 3-second time penalty. Not looking good for the McLarens now. Great Ace dropping behind even Vodka. All the way down to 6th after he was at the front for so long. Stoney still holding the lead of the sprint. Benzo going into this DRS zone. Still wasn't able to get anything on Slim. Still waiting for his chance. Not yet though. Slim goes off there. Just looking like that is going to give Benzo his chance. He is going to pull ahead of Slim there now, since Slim messed up there. So, a lot of turn of events. Great Ace is following back. Benzo's overtaking Slim. Trying to work his way up as much as possible. And Stoney has pitted. With only 4 laps used on his softs, Stoney has already pitted. Wow. And Slingshot receives Slingshot pits as well, and he receives a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh! And we just cut. I was just about to say Smoke has now, because of this, Smoke has now taken lead of the race, but Smoke has now spun just right after all the guys decided to pit. So, because of his spin, Smoke has now dropped down to 3rd. Quite unfortunate for Smoke. A lot of the guys deciding to pit now. Sling going to hards, Stoney to mediums, Great Ace to mediums, Slim to softs. Which is now of so is it Vodka, Stoney, Smoke? No, it's Firewater who's now currently leading the sprint race, followed by Vodka who's now recovered back up to 2nd, and Smoke who's in 3rd after that spin. It's all a bit gapped out here now. Slim the only one on softs now. Slim coming out in softs, but yeah, Smoke as soon as he gets in the lead immediately spins. Unfortunately, that's not a good sign for the full race. That's gonna happen. So everyone's a bit spaced out here now after the pit. So just to give a summary, a lot of penalties picked up. Slingshot received a speeding in the pit lane, so that might cost him. That might put him at the back by the end of the sprint race. But you never know, as Smoke picks up a 3-second time penalty. So his sprint race is looking kind of rough there now. Stoney was leading the sprint race, but he decided to pit for the mediums. And everyone kind of followed his lead and all pitted. So Stoney's now currently sitting in 6th, trying to work his way back up with Benzo just ahead. You know, Stoney was showing some pace, but can he show the same pace on the medium tires? That is the question that has yet to been answered. But regardless, now Gator, after his mistake earlier, now Gator is out in 4th, though he's on the older tires. But his teammate Slim is still at the back of the grid, unfortunately. On the softs, trying to use that to his advantage to pull ahead on these final laps of the sprint race. Stoney is gaining some time on Benzo here now, though, interestingly enough. Ooh, Benzo must have made an error there, gained several tenths actually. Stoney now only a couple tenths behind Benzo. Gets Benzo and him get really close to making contact there. Going into this DRS zone, will Stoney make the move on Benzo here? Let's hold on. Both these two were going head-to-head in Bahrain. If you watch the recent highlights. So we get to see some Stoney-Benzo action again. A little bit wide there. Both of them going side by side. Stoney does pull ahead of Benzo for now. As we can see. Yellow flag in sector 3. It looks like Slim in the Ferrari has retired from the race. At least it looks like he retired of his own accord. I don't think that got safety card. I think he retired of his own will as Benzo picks up a 3-second time penalty, and so does Smoke. Smoke picks up a speeding penalty now, I believe. So some more of these guys deciding to pit after Slim's DNF. So now Slim has DNF'd the sprint race, and Vodka now takes the lead of the sprint race. After all that, after him starting from the back, Vodka takes the lead of the sprint race, with Gator in second. Covering for his mistake, but again, it's all going to come down to these penalties. Benzo now coming out on the softs. Same with Smoke. And so is Fire. Fire also on fresh softs. He was leading the sprint, and now he's out in 4th on the softs. I don't know, we got some very interesting strategy calls here tonight. And we're not even in the full race yet. Crazy enough. So unfortunately, Slim's bad streak continues. But he still has the full race to redeem himself. But he will be starting from the back of the full race. And now, but we're on board with Smoke now, who's just behind Slingshot, trying to get ahead of him. Bamadou picks up a speeding in the pit lane penalty as well. These guys got to watch out. It's so easy to get a speeding in the pit lane penalty here at Silverstone. It's a different speed limit, guys. You have to go slower. So regardless, while all that was happening, Vodka has now pitted, as well as Gator. Both of them have dropped down. Stoney has now retaken the lead of the sprint. Only a couple laps left now. Smoke now going side by side with Slingshot, his rival, trying to pull ahead of him. But not quite, not just yet. So there is a DRS zone here. Will he do it? Not yet, I'm afraid. Not yet. Two of these guys going side by side. Smoke does get it on him there, though. Smoke pulls ahead of Slingshot on the faster soft tires. So after all that, Gator starting to pit for the softs. Now he's back in 6th. It's just been a crazy amount of pit stops during this sprint race right now. Everyone just going wild here. And after all that, Stoney is back in the lead, but he is on the mediums. The question is, will the guys on the softs be able to catch him? That remains to be seen. Oh, one crazy strategy call after another here. Because if Stoney wins the sprint race, he'll still suffer a grid penalty, but I don't know if it'll be right from the back. He might be like halfway down the grid or something. Not quite sure. As of right now, it looks like Slim will be starting from the back. Slingshot doing pretty solid on the hard throw right now, currently sitting in 5th. But he does have Gator behind, gaining on him on the softs. And then both McLarens behind him. Not a great sprint race for the McLarens, but it's been a big fight between everyone else for the lead of the sprint race. We had several guys at the front of the sprint race. We had Stoney, we had Fire, we had Vodka, we had Smoke for a little bit. It's been all back and forth. But now there's only about to be 2 laps left of the sprint. So we're going to have to wait to see what happens. Gator has now started to catch Slingshot, almost in that DRS range. So we're going to hold on with him here now. Wait to see what happens. Vodka now takes fastest lap of the sprint from Stoney on the soft tires. And Gator's now looking to make his move. He goes behind Slingshot, then he pulls to the side. Goes a little wide, but that's okay. He still does it in the end. Great move from Gator there. Very clean. You got to give it to him. Big props to Gator there for that move on Slingshot. Great stuff. Great stuff. So both these guys still not too far ahead of Slingshot, though. Still got to watch it. Firewater now picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's huge, because that could give Vodka a position over him now. So, final lap of the sprint here. Slingshot started to lose the Gator now. Gator kind of holding that 5th position. Loses a little bit of traction there, but he recovers it. He keeps it on track. Good stuff to him. We're on board Vodka now, who's just behind Fire. Though Fire has that penalty, so even if Vodka gets ahead of him, or I should say, even if Vodka stays behind him, it's not going to matter. He's still going to finish ahead of Firewater because of that penalty. But it's looking like no one can really catch Stoney. If Stoney keeps it together, it's looking like Stoney is going to be the winner of the sprint race. With Vodka right behind Firewater. Vodka, you can tell, playing it safe now. Now that he knows that Fire has a penalty, he's not really trying to push past him. You can tell. And he does it. Stoney wins the sprint race. He will be starting further back due to his grid penalty. But Stoney has won the sprint race, which is going to be some great points for him and Mercedes. And this might be a confidence booster for him going into the full race. It's still... Even with the grid penalty, it's definitely still possible for Stoney Stewart to win the full race. It looks like Vodka Victory definitely has some competition here if he wants to win here at Silverstone. We have some unserved penalties coming in now, so let's look at where everyone is to. Stoney is going to be starting the full race. We'll have to see where he starts because he has the grid penalty, but he has won the sprint. So ignoring Stoney since he has the grid penalty, it looks like Vodka will still be starting. It looks like Vodka will still be starting from the front regardless, due to Stoney's grid penalty. So it is a pseudo pole for vodka. It's not a pole for vodka, but it is a pole for vodka. It's kind of hard to say. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to ask someone about that, how that's considered. Like, what is it still considered a pole for Stoney, even though he's not going to be starting from the front? Personally, I'm not sure. Either way, Vodka will be starting from the front, followed by Firewater in the Haas. So again, you can't count Firewater out either. This could be Firewater's first win of the season if he can keep it together. He has been on an uptrend so far. He had a really rough start to the season, had a really hard time getting a grasp of the new cars, but once he did, he's been on a bit of a hot streak lately. So expecting good things from Firewater here. Followed by Gator, just right behind them. Good recovery from him. Smoke, who could have started way closer to the front, but had a spin, but still not a bad spot for Smoke. Slingshot and Great Ace, losing some positions from where they started, but anything's possible. They're still looking to survive here tonight. Not great for Benzo, who, like we said, won last week. Benzo starting pretty close to the back here. Only two people starting behind Benzo, it looks like, are Bad Madou and Slim. But yeah, so that's what I was saying. Yeah, so only people starting behind Benzo are Bad Madou and Slim at the back. But anything is possible. There's safety cars that can come out. Anything can happen. It's not over for Bad Madou and Slim just yet. And because of the low attendance this week, because of circumstances, they still get points for their teams. So even though it wasn't a great sprint race for them, they still got points. So you can't be too upset about that. Even though what happened to Slim was a little dirty, in my opinion. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. But they're going to be getting the full lobby set up and the grid set up the way where it needs to be with Stoney with the grid penalty. And as always, just like every other week, this is when the drivers like to take their quick 5-minute or so intermission just to get ready before the full race. And like I said, along with that, special conditions this time too. It might be an even longer wait than 5 minutes due to the fact that Slim has to set the grid after the sprint race. You know, because it's a sprint race weekend, a little different. But regardless, I will be back with you all after a quick 5 to 10 minute intermission, just for everyone to prepare for the full race. And after that intermission, folks, we are back. We're all ready to get started here now. As soon as the grid is set for our full race, let's just see what everyone's rocking here. Like we said, so it looks like Stoney is going to be starting all the way from the back. Okay, I wasn't sure how severe his grid penalty is, but it is going to be all the way from the back. So he's going to be starting just behind Slim. So wins the sprint, but has to start from the back. The irony of that. So Vodka will be starting from the front, followed by Firewater and Gator. Smoke Sling. Oh, I said Bad Madu was going to be at the back. But, maybe that was changed? I don't know. Maybe I wasn't looking closely enough. I don't know. But it's going to be Bad Madu and then 2 McLaren, Slim, and Stoney. So, only 10 drivers here tonight. It's going to be very exciting to see who wins and who gets on the podium. This could be a great opportunity for some people to get their first really high placement of the season. Anyways, looking at the tires, 4 of the 10 guys are on hards. We have both McLarens and the 2 guys at the front, Vodka and Firewater, on the hards. Everyone else on the mediums. Similar to the last season, when everyone was here, it was a similar situation where half the guys went. It was very similar. Where it was basically just mediums to hards or hards to mediums, I believe. But then it's always possible for someone to push them far enough to be able to go and finish the race on the softs. You never know, right? But here we go. An iconic race here in the UK. Silverstone. And it's lights out and away we go. Here at the British GP, Silverstone. Got both McLarens there. Taking off and behind. Vodka pulls ahead. Gator is now up in second in the Ferrari. Let's see what's happening in the back. Interesting stuff. Slim pulling ahead of Benzo. Benzo just behind him. We got some close calls there, but he does pull ahead of Slim once again. Vodka and Gator going head to head here at the front. Both of them side by side. Gator kind of swinging his end there at Vodka. We do have a yellow flag though. Smoke has now made a huge mistake. He's now dropped all the way to the back. Slim and Stoney are now going side by side. Stoney pulls ahead of Slim. Pulls up into the 8th position there. Bad Madu now in 4th. He's made huge gains off all this. He's now just behind Firewater. And it looks like Stoney's now looking to gain another position on Benzo, who's just ahead of him now by 2/10. But will he pull ahead of Benzo here yet? Doesn't look like it. Not yet. Not quite. Not quite. Same with Bad Madu. Bad Madu's still behind Firewater right now. And in fact, Gator has now, like we said, Gator has now pulled ahead of Vodka, and Gator now leads the race for the time being. Fire going a little wide there. It's going to be the opportunity for Bad Madu to pull ahead. But alas, he does not. Bad still behind Fire with Slingshot, and Great Ace not too far behind him either. Waiting to see what happens here with them. Stoney's still waiting to get past the 2 McLarens as well. They're not going to make it easy for him, that's for sure. As we can see now, Stoney's really trying to put the pressure on Benzo here. Smoke at the back is also currently not too far from Slim now. As we see Stoney get ready to go for the pass on Benzo. They go side by side. Stoney does make the move. He does successfully pull ahead of Benzo in the DRS zone. Smoke and Slim going side by side there as well. Smoke now overtaking Slim. Slim now to the back of the grid like he was before. But now the DRS is enabled for reals here. So it's going to be even more interesting here now momentarily. Smoke's trying to push up even further now. He's trying to pull ahead of Benzo as well. Benzo really struggling here tonight. He was in the sprint race. Now he's still here at the back right now. He's got a mountain to climb. He wants to sit on that or I should say stand on that podium. Smoke still not quite getting the Benzo just yet though. Stoney now trying to make his next move on the second McLaren of Great Ace. We'll see what he can do here. And we can see Smoke just behind them. Now Towery moving on Benzo. Here we go. Ooh, Smoke tried something there. Just didn't quite get it. Still behind Benzo. He's going to do it now, going in this DRS zone. Smoke is going to go side by side with Benzo Slice up the straight. And he does it. Smoke pulls ahead of Benzo. Benzo is fighting him still, not too far behind. And as we can see now up here, Firewater has now fallen behind Bad Madu. Two of these guys rather close to each other now as well. So you have to remember, Gator and Bad are on the mediums, Vodka and Fire on the hards. So they could still end up winning in the long run in terms of their strategy. So this could just be a momentary victory for them. We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, in the back here, it's still close between Smoke caught between these two McLarens right now. Smoke's looking for his move on Great Ace here. Stoney also pulling ahead of Slingshot there, though we missed that move that time. But we can see them both going side by side up at the front. Stoney is working his way back up the pack now. Already halfway up from where he started. Smoke still looking to make his move on Great Ace. Just hasn't quite had the opportunity here yet. Again, we're keeping an eye on the intervals. A lot of these guys are still fairly close here. No huge gaps really have been formed here yet. Gator does have a second lead over Vodka, though. But that can change in the blink of an eye. It's not a huge gap. As we see, Gator does mess up there. Goes off track. And he loses the lead of the race to Vodka. Just as I said it, fucking commentator's curse at its finest there. So now the others of Bad Madu and Firewater hot right up to Gator. After that mistake of his. That is going to cost him. But it looks like Smoke has finally made his overtake on Great Ace there. After all that time. But both McLarens, they're not too far behind. They're still fighting it. It looks like. Not too far behind. The only person who's kind of behind right now is Slim. Who's like almost 2 seconds behind the rest of them. Both McLarens back to back now. Benzo almost pulled ahead of Great Ace there, but not quite. Still waiting to see what happens there. Vodka, though, after that mistake of Gators, Vodka now has a 4-second lead to the race. This could be Vodka's chance to pull ahead with the win. We'll have to wait and see if he can remain consistent enough. That's going to be the key here, I would imagine. On board with Smoke now. He's just behind his rival Slingshot. Two of them going side by side, similar to what they did in the sprint. But Smoke just barely squeezes through, makes the move on Slingshot just before the DRS zone, not even in the DRS zone. So good stuff to him there. That was a really clean move from him. Both McLarens now just behind Slingshot. So it's tight. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. Bad Madu, 7/10 behind Gator, trying to fight for the second position. I think that's the most they can really hope for right now, unless Vodka makes some sort of huge error. That's kind of what they're hoping for, I would say. Chrome. Crazy McLaren livery there, but regardless, Stoney is now just behind Firewater, looking to move up another position. We're going to hold out on him for now. Grade Ace now picking up the first penalty of the race, 3-second time penalty for warnings. Seven laps in, and so far this race has just been go, go, go. There hasn't been much in-between time throughout all of this. But in the DRS zone, Stoney does make the pass on Firewater there, but Firewater's still going to fight him. Up through it all. Stoney does it. Stoney moves up on Firewater there for now. Up into fourth. But it's still really close between these two guys. Firewater could still retake it. Both guys, as you can see, very similar battery levels. Not too far off each other. Both managing their battery decently, I would say. For Slim now, if you're Slim, your goal right now has to be to not get any penalties. Your goal has to be not get any penalties, and try to finish ahead of some of these guys like Great Ace who have penalties. And as we can see, his teammate Gator, obviously pits are going to change everything, but you could still hope for good, a podium finish for Ferrari potentially by the end. Both McLaren still extremely close to one another, just behind Slingshot and the Alpine. Well, there's a bit of a space between a lot of the other guys, but hop back up to Bad Madu now, who just picked up a 3-second time penalty as well, even though he's just behind Gator. As we just missed there, Benzo pulled ahead of Slingshot after. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there, how much further Benzo is able to climb, since a lot of the guys ahead of him will probably end up hitting before him. Benzo loves his mediums. It's interesting he chose the hards here instead of his medium pick. We'll have to wait and see how far Benzo decides to take these hards. No pits yet, though. The drivers are going to try to push these tires as far as they can. It's going to be really interesting to watch the medium tire guys and how far they can take it. Stoney now has caught up to Bad Madu, looking to take another position in the race. He also takes fastest lap for the time being. Now just behind Bad. Stoney wants that podium. I could be wrong, but again, I could be wrong, but I believe Stoney has not had a podium yet this season. So even if it's not a win, a podium would be great for him as well here tonight. As he's now really fighting to pull ahead. Babadoo and Gator not too far ahead of him now. The big gap is to Vodka in the lead of the race. Stoney goes side by side with Bad and makes a really clean move on him there. Good stuff to him. Moves up into third, as we can see. Nick Thurston, we can see here. Smoke now trying to fight up to get past Firewater and the Haas. I don't know if I missed it, but it looks like Benzo has also picked up a penalty. So that's penalties for both McLarens here. That really might hurt McLaren in the long run tonight. As we go into the 10th lap of the race. And we have the first pit of the race. Bad Madoo has now decided to pit first. I imagine he's going to pit for his hards, finish the race on them. Let's wait and see what he decides to do. He's going to come out at the back, but he is going to be on his hard, so if he plays his cards right, he won't have to pit for the rest of the race. So we'll have to wait and see if Bad is able to... what Bad's able to do here. Still hasn't... Jeez. Apologies there, but... But yeah, he's going to have to work his way back up again. Or at the very least, he's going to have to wait and see where he stacks up once everyone else pits. As you can see here from Stoney's perspective, Gator went a little wide there. So now Stoney, who pulled ahead of Firewater, is now also trying to gain on Gator for the second position. Though he will have to most likely pit before Vodka. Something a little interesting. As Slim picks up a 3-second time penalty. So... now that Slim has a time penalty, he's not going to have that penalty advantage on everyone else like he had hoped, unfortunately, for him. It's been crazy here so far this race. Can't even take my eyes off the screen right now. Great Ace picking up a penalty. So I believe that puts, if we check penalties, yep, Great Ace is the only one with 6 seconds of time penalties now. So that's going to give him a huge disadvantage by the end. But there's still half the race to go. We still don't know. But now, hopping up to Stoney. He's right alongside Gator going into this turn. Two of them almost turn in there. But they respect each other's distance. Going side by side again. Looking to make the move. Stoney. Can he confirm the lead? Almost pulls in on Gator there. Stoney is absolutely on fire tonight. Had an amazing sprint race. And is now killing it again in the first half of this race. All he has to do now is keep his head down, keep his composure, keep it together, and hopefully stand on that podium. As he has finally pulled ahead of Gator. Hopping back to Firewater now, who's in 6th, just behind Benzo. But Fire is the only person at the back right now who has no penalties. So if you can keep it like that, that could be a big advantage for Fire. We'll have to wait and see. A lot of the grid's starting to get spaced out here now. Bad Madoo way far behind the back since he's the only one who's pit so far. Wait and see where he stacks up. Vodka currently with the 6-second lead on Stoney on the hard tires. So it'll be interesting to see when Vodka decides to pit. I'd imagine it looks like, I don't know, we'll come down next couple of laps, because right now it's looking like Vodka is going to finish the race on the final couple laps on the softs, is how it's looking right now, but depends on how far he pushes the hards, I guess. But for now, we're here with Slim. He's currently in 9th. Trying to catch Slingshot here, who he was talking about earlier in the interview. He wants to catch up to him. But as we see, Stoney and Gator have now both pit. And Stoney picks up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. As I was saying earlier, it's a different speed limit here at Silverstone. It's not an 80, it's a 60. So, very easy to get caught out for that. It also checks you very quickly. There's not much time to react. You have to slow way down very fast. So a lot of guys now taking the opportunity to pit here, it looks like. Slingshot, Smoke, Gator, and Stoney all pitting now. So the only guy still out on mediums who hasn't pit yet is Slim. Everyone else, all these guys are all pitting for the hards. They're all doing exactly what I said they were going to do at the beginning. I said most of the guys were going to basically start on mediums and go to hards later. But these guys who've started on hards, the question is, are they going to pit soon for the mediums to finish the race, or are they going to go longer on their hards and go to softs for the end? That is the question that we're all asking ourselves right now. Right now, due to the pits, Firewater and Benzo are now 3rd and 2nd. Firewater now currently just behind him. So we're going to hold on with them for the time being as we wait to see if and when any of these guys decide to pit on the hard tires. But we can also now see where Bad Madoo has squared up. Bad Madoo, now the other guys have pit. Bad Madoo now currently sitting in 8th. Just ahead of Smoke, and now Slingshot is at the back on the hards. And with that speeding in the pit lane penalty, it's going to be kind of rough for him. Let's take another look at our penalties here. As you can see, Stoney and Great Ace now with the most seconds of time penalties. Interestingly enough. Stoney with that speeding in the... So Stoney was set for a great finish here tonight, but that 5-second speeding in the pit lane penalty might cost him. It just might. However, most people do have penalties here. The only people who don't have penalties here right now are Vodka, who's leading the race, Firewater, and Gator. But we do have a yellow flag in Sector 1. Gator, who was having a great race, has now lost it. Going around there, and he's now fallen all the way back into 9th on his fresh hards. So, but again, it's not over for Gator just yet. He still has a great opportunity ahead of him, but he's going to have to not make any more mistakes like those. He's going to have to really give it all he's got for the rest of this race, I would say. As Firewater is now only a couple tenths behind Benzo. Looking to make his move here on him. But he doesn't. He instead says, nah, I'm a pit. He goes into the pits. Now we've had another pit here. So now that Firewater's pitted. We're going to go to Smoke, who's now just behind Bad. Trying to work his way back up through the grid on the fresh hards. Again, Slim on the mediums. Still hasn't pitted just yet. I guess he figures it's his only chance to try to score good here is to push these mediums as far as he can. Because no one's really catching him yet. It's not like he's losing too much time with the mediums yet. So he's getting away with it. Smoke, on the other hand, is doing good at keeping up with Bad Madu here, though. So I'm assuming we're going to see a pass Smoke on Bad sooner rather than later. As you can see here already, yep, going side by side with Bad. Will he get it here, though? Both of them getting rather close. Almost drives off Bad a little off track there for a little bit, but Smoke does pull ahead of Bad, though. Through it all, Smoke does pull ahead of him. Up into 6th. On Firewater now. Firewater, after his pit, we forgot to mention, Firewater has now come out on the mediums. Like I said, he went from started hards, went to mediums. He's on the fresh mediums now to finish the race. Just behind Gator, looking to take back a position. So we're going to wait and see what happens with him. As Slim has finally decided to pit, he took the medium tires 14 laps to the best he could. Now it's time to pit. As Bad is still keeping up with Smoke, still not giving up just yet. Slim is now coming out in the hards to finish the race. So the only guys who haven't pit yet this race are Vodka and the 2 McLarens of Benzo and Great Ace, all of them pushing their hards. So it's going to be interesting to see when Vodka and the McLarens decide to pit, and if they're going to pit for the mediums or the softs. So let's hold on and see. Slim coming out on the hards, but he is going to be coming out at the back of the grid. Firewater now going alongside Gator. Having a little bit of a scrap with Gator, both of them getting fairly close there. Both of these guys were going head-to-head at Austria, and now they're going head-to-head again. We have a yellow flag there, though. Incident with Slim making a bit of a mistake there now. So right now, Slim and Slingshot are currently clearly at the back of the grid. So if we're being honest, it's not looking too good for Slim and Slingshot in terms of their race here tonight. It might be over for the 2 of them. Not sure what else they can do unless there's a safety car. The Firewater looking to make the clean move on Gator here now in the DRS zone. Both of them scrapping for a bit, but Firewater does manage to pull ahead of him. Stoney takes back fastest lap from Vodka. Funny enough. But yeah, so as we can see now, all the guys are a little spaced out here now. Just like 9-ish laps left of the race. Slim and Slingshot are way behind everyone. It's looking pretty rough for them. Followed by Gator and Fire. Gator still keeping up with Firewater for now. Not too big of a gap between them. Bad and Smoke. Stoney now in 4th. But he is way behind the McLarens. After, especially with that time penalty. However, you gotta keep in mind, Great Ace and Benzo and Vodka have yet to pit, and Great Ace does have 6 seconds of time penalties, so that might cost him in the end. We'll have to wait and see. As Stoney sets another fastest lap of the race. So we're just holding on to Gator for now. Not too much going on. A lot of the guys just spaced out. There is a yellow in Sector 3. It looks like, yeah, the Alpha Tauri of Smoke. He did lose it there. So he's now dropped down several positions as well. For the race, Smoke himself predicted that he would spin twice. And, yeah, he has spun twice. He spun when he took the lead of the race, and he just spun that time. So, by that logic, though, Smoke shouldn't spin anymore, right? But that is going to drop Smoke now down all the way into 8th. It's going to let some of the others fight for positions as Bad Madoo loses it there as well. On that turn going into the second sector, Bad Madoo loses it. So he loses that position to Gator. Drops to 7th. So all these guys have made some mistakes here. This could be an opportunity though for Slingshot to move up another position if he can catch Smoke. We'll have to hold on and wait to see what happens there. But yeah, also watching the guys at the front. Great Ace, Benzo, and Vodka all still pushing these hards, 18 laps. So clearly all of them want to finish the race on their softs. It's looking like it's going to be sprint to the finish for all of them. This could end up being a really amazing race for Great Ace if he can keep it together. I believe Great Ace also had a really good finish here last season. I don't know if it might have been 6th or 7th or something, but Great Ace also had a really good finish for himself here last season. Even though he's not a huge fan of this track, but he did pretty well here last time, and he's doing pretty well here again. And now Smoke, unfortunately, has decided to pit. So that's going to put Smoke all the way at the back. So Smoke is saying, screw it, he's going on softs to finish the race. So I don't know. Smoke could move up another position or so, but it's not looking too good for Smoke here. For Alpha Tauri as a team in general, since Larry wasn't here tonight either, so it's not looking too good for Alpha. But now Vodka has decided to pit. Vodka has now picked his opportunity to pit, so now will Benzo and Great Ace also go into the pits? Let's see. Benzo does not. Benzo stays out. Great Ace goes in. They make sure not to double box. Great strategy from the guys at McLaren. So they decided to box So Great Ace decided to box before Benzo. Benzo's going to stay out for at least another lap. And then he'll probably come in for the softs. But yeah, now Vodka and Great Ace have come out on their softs. We'll see where this all shapes out. Up now. Vodka's out still in 2nd on the grid. Great Ace, though, as we can see. Great Ace is now about to come out on the grid in 6th with Bad Madoo just behind him. And again, if we do a quick refresher on penalties. Yeah, Great Ace still has 6 seconds, so he still has more penalties than all of the guys behind him. So, as of right now, even though he's not past him, Bad Madoo is still in that range where all Bad Madoo has to stay 6 seconds in range of Great Ace, and he will gain that position on him. So there's still positions to be gained for Bad Madoo. But it's looking really rough for Smoke here, all the way at the back in the Alpha Tauri. It's also looking pretty rough and stagnant for Slim and Slingshot as well. Looking like they're kind of stuck in their positions right now. Benzo now finally decides to pit, though, which is going to give lead of the race back to Vodka Victory. Benzo's going to pit for his softs, which is also going to move Stoney up into 2nd, though like we said, Stoney does have 5 seconds of time penalties. So Benzo's goal here is going to be to catch Stoney when he comes out. So he's also going to be behind Firewater and Gator coming out of the pits, as we can see. I don't know, only like 5 laps left of the race. Benzo has come out in 5th. He's going to have to work his way up. Which he could work his way up to the top 3 or so, up to like Firewater, but there is a huge gap right now between Vodka Stony and the rest of the pack. It's looking pretty rough, but as we just saw there, Smoke, who's at the back, actually just took fastest lap for now. So even though he's at the back, Smoke does have really good pace right now. But then Vodka takes fastest lap. Just give me a second there, folks. Catch my breath here. I said this earlier, but it feels like this race has just been go, go, go this entire time. There really hasn't been a whole ton of time for me to catch my breath throughout this. But now, going in these last couple laps, everyone's a little spaced out now. We kind of have a second just to calm down here. Think about this. But yeah, if you're Great Ace right now, your goal, it's looking like if Great Ace wants to get at least a 6th place finish, he's gonna have to he's gonna have to double his gap to Bad Madu right now. Otherwise, he's gonna finish in 7th. Still not bad for Great Ace though. Still good points from McLaren regardless. Benzo though looking a little disappointed right now. He wants to be up on the podium. If he wants it, he's gonna have to fight up through Gator and Fire on the soft tires. He's gonna hope his soft tires can help him out here. That's what I'd be doing if I was him. But now Vodka has posted an even faster lap. So Vodka is at the front now, with a 3-second gap to him and Stoney. And the thing with Vodka is Vodka also hasn't acquired any penalties yet, similar to Fire and Gator. But it's still, even with his 5 seconds of penalties, it's still looking good for Stoney here. He still has a huge gap over the rest of the pack, where his penalties won't matter. It's not really possible for him to win now, but if you're Stoney, you just need to finish on the podium now. If you're Stoney, you just need to finish the race, keep doing what you're doing, and it'll all be good. We're just holding on here with Benzo now, who's trying to catch up to Gator to try to gain at least another position for him before the end of the race. But regardless, this is still looking good, even though it might be disappointing for Slim and Gator if they're not able to get, Gator's not able to lead the podium, Slim's not able to have a great finish like he wanted. It's still a great result for the constructors for Ferrari, 4th and 9th, considering that Smoke right now is at the very back, and he's the only AlphaTauri racing, so at most, it's still not looking that great for AlphaTauri. Still have a ways to go if they want to fight Ferrari for that constructors win, But now Benzo is finally starting to catch Gator here a little bit now, almost in that DRS range. We're going to hop on board him now and see when he's able to do it. Only a couple laps left of the race, though. But now Gator has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Ooh. So now things get even more interesting. Now, because now Firewater has no penalties. So if we take a look here now, Now it's like, oh, Benzo can actually catch Gator. And also, if Firewater just keeps doing what he's doing, Firewater will also finish on the podium. Though we have a yellow in Sector 3! Commentator's curse! As I was just saying, all Firewater has to do is keep doing what he's doing to finish on the podium. And Firewater screws up on like the last turn of the track, which drops Fire down into 5th. Now it's still not over for Fire. The guys ahead of him have penalties. He could still potentially catch up to Benzo and Gator. But wow, big mistake from Fire there. With only 2 laps left, Firewater was basically set for a 3rd place finish. And then he screwed up. We have another 3-second time penalty. It looks like the Alpha of Smoke has screwed up again, so his race is completely over. He's definitely finishing at the back. Bad Madu acquired another penalty. But yeah, as we were saying, it was looking like a podium finish for Firewater here tonight, but he made a mistake, and now he's sitting in 5th. He still might be able to gain, though, on Benzo and Gator, though. It's not over yet, but he's going to have to increase his gap to them by at least another second or so. I don't know. It's still looking like it could be at least the 4th place finish for Fire. We'll have to see. But Fire might have just screwed himself out of a podium finish. And Benzo is now going in this final lap very close to Gator, looking to overtake him and get on that podium on the final lap. But if not, Gator will finish on the podium. That'll be an amazing result for Ferrari. Yeah, it's been a really solid race from Vodka, though. Ever since all the pits, he's basically just been at the front since Benzo pit pretty convincingly. Vodka hasn't acquired any penalties yet either this entire race. So it's just been a super solid drive from him. All he has to do is secure it now. Pretty well. So the moment of truth coming into the 3rd sector for Vodka as Benzo and Gator go into the 2nd sector. We're going to hold on with them, though. Benzo still trying to see if he can do something to Gator here. Yeah, coming around that final turn, though, for Vodka. Crosses the line. Vodka victory is your race winner here at Silverstone. His 3rd win of the season in PGR. Benzo, though, going side by side with Gator. They're fighting to the line. They're fighting for that podium finish right now, both even in terms of penalties and everything for Benzo and Gator. Though it's a solid 2nd finish for Stoney. An amazing result for him. Starting all the way from the back and finishing in 2nd. But no, he's unable to do it. Benzo's unable to pass Gator. And due to the gaps, yep, so Gator finishes on the podium and Fire finishes in 4th ahead of Benzo. Still a 5th, 6th finish from McLaren. That's a great result for the team still. Great drive from Great Ace here. Made like one little mistake, I think. But other than that, pretty solid drive from Great Ace. Bad Madu made several mistakes, so he finished in 7th. Could have finished a little higher. Slingshot had a bit of a rough race, finished in 8th. And rough for Slim, couldn't really get much going for most of that race in 9th. And Smoke had an extremely rough race, finished all the way at the back. But yeah, that was a wicked race here tonight at Silverstone, as expected. Amazing track, very iconic. And yeah, really excited about our podium finishes. Like we said, Vodka victory's 3rd win of the season. This is going to increase his lead in the drivers over Benzo by a good bit. Get it more leaning his way. He's won 3 races, like I said, this season. He won Catalunya, he won Imola, and now he's won here at Silverstone. Followed by Stoney Stewart with, I believe, his first podium finish of the season. Fought his way all the way from the back. the game gave driver of the day to Stoney. I would have to say as well, I think Stoney definitely deserves driver of the day as well. Definitely his best drive of the season so far. And then we have Gator on the podium as well. Which I could be wrong, but I believe this is Gator's first true podium in PGR as well. He finished on the podium in Miami, but it was retracted from him due to an incident with firewater. So he ended up finishing in 4th instead of 3rd afterwards. So yeah, I think this is also technically Gator's first true podium of the season in PGR as well. So that's also going to move Ferrari ahead in the constructors as well. But hey, it's still points regardless for Ferrari. 3rd and 9th. Better than 10th and nothing for AlphaTauri. Obviously, there was a sprint race, though, which counted for some points as well, so that will help balance the odds a little bit. But yeah, great recovery for Gator there. But anyways, before we end the stream tonight, we're going to get at least, obviously, crossplay might have some issues getting the guys in here, but we're going to try to get our, we're going to try to get our podium in here for a quick post-race interview. So let's do that real quick. Hello, hello.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, is it possible to get our crossplay friends in here? Stoney and Gator?
I'm working on it.
Yeah, just see if you can get them in here. But yeah, well, while you're working on that, congrats on your 3rd win of the season, man. Increasing your lead in the drivers. How does it feel?
Feels good, man. It was a tough race. I just kept my head down and just did what I do best, man. Just drive.
Yeah, like I said, you had a rough one-shot quality lap, but you pulled it back. You started from the front in the full race, and you never made any huge mistakes for the entire race. So.
There's so many Mr. Gators. I don't know which one.
So good stuff to you, man. It was a solid drive. How does it compare with your other 2 wins so far at Spain and Imola? Like, is Spain still your favorite win of the season so far?
Spain is definitely my best and favorite win right now.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Well, this was a really intense race, man. I couldn't even go grab another drink, water. I couldn't even go grab another glass of water, because it was just so much shit going on the whole time. For a lot of that race, everyone was kind of neck and neck until the end. Finally got a little space there near the end. But other than that, yeah, just another solid drive from you. I mean, you were obviously the favorite to win here tonight. We're not going to beat around the bush.
Wow.
But
I
some
wanted
guys
Benzo to give me some go.
Yeah, he had a rough one. But someone who I gave him driver of the day. The game did as well. I think Stoney. This was I believe this was
sure.
Stoney's best drive of the season so far, easily. Really showed what he could do out there. It's just unfortunate, obviously, he got that speeding in the pit lane. That pit lane caught a lot of people out, just like it did last season, man.
Hey, man, everybody knows about it.
They should know about it by now. It's a different speed limit. It's 60. It's not 80. Like you gotta...
I went down to, well, I do miles per hour, but I went all the way down to 20 miles per hour just to be safe, man.
Yeah, like it comes at you quickly too. Like it's not long. You don't got much time to slow down on that pit entry. So that caught a lot of people out here as well, which cost some positions and everything. But
Hey
good
man, it
stuff
was
to
fun
you.
though. It was fun.
Yeah. So do you think you're gonna be able to get them in here? Because I mean, I'd like to talk to
I
guys.
I I don't know how to. I'm looking for their gamer tags. I'm gonna go back to the
I
Discord and
have
see
them
if.
on here. I have them on my Xbox. I have their tags.
So you'd have to invite them then,
Um,
because I don't know what theirs are.
okay, I'm gonna invite Slim into the party as well. 'Cause Slim just messaged me and said he can get Gator. And I'll try to get Stony. I know I definitely have Stony. So let me.
All right, chat. Thanks for watching. It was a fun race. See you next week.
Yeah, at Monza.
No, for my chat. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, Monza next week. Woo. That's
But
gonna
if
be
your
tough.
chat doesn't remember, I think last season you had podium at Monza, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Third place, I think. But it was a shit show at Monza last year.
Yeah, it was a shit show last time. Stony is on his Xbox, so I'm gonna invite his Stone Stewart account.
Yep, I'm trying to get Gator in here. Here's
There we
Gator.
go. There's
There you go.
Gator. Gator. I sent Stony an invite, so I just while all that was going on, I talked, got his thoughts on his drive.
Gator,
and all
make
that.
sure, hold on, make sure he's including his audio. Gator, go to that box and check off the audio at the top. Go to, yep, party chat. Same thing, Stony, go to your party chat and make sure you're including your audio at the top.
Is this on YouTube or Twitch only?
It's
Both.
Twitch and it'll go to YouTube. Both, buddy. All right, I'll shut up now.
Yeah.
I was just trying to.
That's all good. Just let me know, fellas. Just let me know if you got your audio included there, Stony.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, perfect. Good shit, man. You got driver of the day, buddy, from me and the game. That was definitely your best drive of the season so far. How do you feel?
Me?
Tony.
Stony.
Nice. Oh yeah, good shit, Stoney. I didn't know who he was talking to. That's why I asked.
Stony first, Gator next.
I'll
Stony
mute
Yeah,
myself.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tonight I felt real confident with it. I didn't have any. I don't know. My problem with this game is I feel like sometimes it just cuts loose, and I honestly have no answer for it. And that didn't happen tonight, so I had a good race.
Yeah, especially considering that due to the grid penalty, like you had an amazing sprint race, but then you had to start all the way from the back for the full race, and you still finished in second through it all. So I feel like that's props to you, man. And especially after you've had so many like rough races, I feel like this. I said it before the race started. I said this race might be a great turning point for some people going into the second half of the season to really have that confidence boost. Do you think going into Monza next week that you might, you're going into it like a bit more optimistic than you were before? Because I know before you were really hating on the game, a bit pessimistic, but now do you think you have a bit more confidence?
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel better about it because I had a good race tonight. So we'll see how it goes going forward. Hopefully it goes good.
Yeah, man, good stuff. It's hard. You're repping the Mercedes by yourself. You don't got a teammate with you. You're a one-man show, so I gotta give you props for that good shit, man. Really, really solid race. And to conclude things, lastly, we have the new Ferrari driver, Gator. Obviously, you had a rough race last week, so it's nice. Same thing. You also kind of redeemed yourself this race as well. Talk me through your race, man. Obviously, you had that little bit of a spin. I think that was at the beginning of the full race, right?
Yeah.
But you managed to recover it nicely. Just talk me through your thought process. What was going through your head during that race?
Nah, I don't know. This game, it kind of sucks because it's like you're driving on ice all the time, and you think that you're fine through
Yeah.
a corner, and then out of nowhere, you get take it again the next lap, and then there you go. So I don't know. It was
Yeah.
all right. I spun the first spun when I was like leading, and that kind of sucked. So went in a few laps later and just tried to recover after that. So It was all right.
Yeah. No, still, due to the low attendance count tonight, still a great finish for the team. Third and ninth, double points finish for Ferrari. I mean, it's better than your rivals AlphaTauri finished. So that's gotta be something. You're still leading the constructors, I'd imagine.
No, that's pretty nice, and that's the goal, just to win the constructors. That's all.
Yeah, have another one for you and Slim. Another one under your belt, as we were talking about earlier. But yeah, no, very solid from all you guys. So now just to remind me, because obviously you had Miami other than Miami, because you had that taken from you. You got deducted to fourth. So this was your first true podium finish of the season, or was there another one?
No, I think this is definitely the first one.
Okay, just checking. All right, perfect. So I did get that right.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
The truth,
Yeah.
the first real one.
So great drive to you two, man. There was a lot of cool instances, a lot of fights. You see Stoney and Benzo battling a lot, just like at Bahrain. You saw you and Fire, similar to Austria, where you guys were scrapping. So
that was a pretty fun battle me and him had. So me and Benzo were like right at the end. Me and him had a battle as well. So it was pretty fun. A lot
you
of
fought
fair
to
racing.
the line, man. I caught that at the end.
Yeah, never give up.
There. Yeah, never give up. Good shit, man. Good shit to all three of you guys. Good stuff tonight. It was a weird night with all the issues people had going on and stuff. The game.
Yeah, we'll see it at Monza. Hopefully we'll have a bigger grid at Monza and not have, free play weekend will be done to EA Sports for free play weekend, screwing us up. But I think that'll be done on Monday. We should hopefully have a bigger grid next
And hopefully,
Saturday.
we have a bigger grid in general. The people just didn't show up regardless of the free play.
Well, yeah, we had a couple guys that had some stuff going on, but they'll be here. They'll be back at Monza. Monza next week. It's kind of hard to turn down, I'd say.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm ready for it, guys. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll leave it to you, Muse, to sign us off.
All right, yeah, it's been another exciting race here in PGR Season 8. I've been your host, Sidonia Muse. Join us next weekend, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on Saturday for, as Slim said, Monza. Another quick shout out to our sponsors, Admin Box and Black Magic Designs. Go check them out, especially if you're into iRacing on the computer. And that's everything. And I'll see you guys next weekend.
All right. Thank you, Muse. And I just want to say thank you, Slim, and to PGR for letting us have these wonderful weekends and races. And Muse, awesome streaming and content. Love to see it every week. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Good stuff, guys.